Hi again, everyone. Hope you're doing well, and we're back again with another progress update. Before anything else, we want to point out that the channel hit 1,000 subscribers! Thanks to everyone who's subscribed to our channel, even if we don't upload very often. These past few months since our last progress video have been somewhat slow due to other things in the team's lives taking priority, and due to several developers leaving the team due to those very life obligations. We know it is disappointing to hear this news, but please remember that the entire team consists of unpaid volunteers, and we only have so much free time to pour into the project. Thank you for being patient with us, and we will do our best to make the wait worth it. If you would like if the team was rebuilding the game at a faster pace, we are still very much looking for programmers, and probably always will be, vector artists, and general assistants who are willing to learn tools like JPEG, Unity, work with spreadsheets, and more. We need programmers who are familiar with Unity and C# to create new code for the game, vector artists to vectorize bitmap assets, and general assistants to help with miscellaneous tasks. But most importantly, we need team members who do have enough time to contribute to the project. Many programmers especially have left the team due to not having enough time to contribute, and several times now, these programmers leave the team without contributing any code to the project. We understand that this is a volunteer project and not everyone has the time to help out, and that's okay. But it is very disheartening to see multiple developers apply, be added to the team, do nothing for months, then leave without any contributions. When filling out any of our applications, please be honest with the team on how much time you have to work on the project, and have the initiative to let the rest of the team know if something comes up and you can't work on the project for an extended period of time. When being on a team, communication is extremely important, and any of the developers who have left due to not having enough free time are always welcome back on the team if and when their schedule clears up. This is just a simple PSA for anyone who wants to apply and join the team. It's not just your skills that matter, but your ability to take initiative and work with the rest of the team to bring our beloved park back. Game development is a long-term commitment, and to recreate the game to the best of our ability, we want team members who will stick with us for the long haul. Anyway, our programmer and general applications will be in the description below. And regardless, thank you to everyone who's applied, as it's amazing to hear how many people want to bring the park back. However, that doesn't mean we've just been sitting around doing nothing. Today, we're excited to show you the progress we've made despite our busy schedules. So enough about applications, here's what we've been working on. Previously from the PetPet Park Rebuild team, we showcased the isometric PetPet movement done by Aether, UI implementation by Nicoto, our new logo created by Coconut, further files we received from Neotruths, the item spreadsheet, and other areas of development done by many different team members. Since then, the team has worked in a variety of areas. To start off simple, Luigi took the time to port every single map background into Unity, and also took the time to import all the skins, the foreground assets, into Unity for Winslow's house. Alongside that, Ponky also imported the skins assets for both the park entrance and Park Point Square for map reassembly. Most of the work of basic map reassembly is porting in all the background pieces and skins assets, then just making sure everything is in the right place. Later down the line, the programming section of the team will code the animations to play properly, such as hovering your mouse over, say, Winslow's air hockey table. A lot of you have also probably noticed that we now have a new channel banner. This banner was created in collaboration by ChickenSalad and CowboyDoge for our social medias. Among other art things, the art part of the team started vectorizing the aforementioned skins assets. Here's a little Winslow wave for you that Ponky did. More UI has also been imported into Unity from Uniswift and recreated UI by Ponky as well. Tying into that UI importation, Nicoto started working on recreating the tutorial shop for the park entrance, which here's a preview of that on screen. The test items on the screen have their cost, relevant item thumbnail, item type, its description, whether or not it's resellable, its resale value, and whether or not the item is needed in a quest is stored in its own database, like so. A group of these databases is called a YAML database, and the shop database uses a script that shows the player the relevant items for that specific shop that it references from a sheet. Like how in the tutorial shop, you have the 6 starting shirts, each for 25 park points. This shop sheet uses a second sheet, the master item database that contains every item in the game, and there is even a third sheet that references item sprites because the items can have multiple sprites. Nicoto would also like to note that a fourth sheet for player inventory and account data is possible, but, quote, has not been prototyped yet, end quote. In fact, this whole database is a prototype, and Nicoto plans on developing a second version that performs and scales better than the current one. Wow! Now, you might be wondering, how do you enter the shop? Well, Nicoto also created a specialized tile that serves a multitude of purposes, and one of those purposes is to teleport the player into the shop. These tiles are also going to be used to load into minigames and other maps in the future whenever a player walks on top of them. Note, the tile is using a placeholder image to simply mark it as separate from the other walkable tiles, and will not be in the final game. Currently, Nicoto is working with Andog and on the specifics like what type of database to use, like SQL, NoSQL, and others. That, and also what type of data the server needs to store. This data includes stuff like username, email, password hash, account creation date, inventory, last clothes worn, etc. The programmers have to balance what should and should not be server-side, handled by the external server rather than the player's PC, data versus what can be handled on the client side of things. Said distinction matters because client-side parts of the game are easier to manipulate and exploit versus server-side data. For example, if a player's park points were stored on the client, the user could find an exploit that allows them to change their park points to whatever they want. However, if park points are maintained by the server, if the client tries to illegally change their points, the server can rebut that change and prevent exploits like that. But at the same time, if too much is handled by the server, that can slow everything down since the server has to compute so much for every single client at all times. Therefore, it's a balancing act that the programmers need to optimize as best as possible to ensure a smooth and fair gameplay experience for everyone. In other important news, Nicoto has also been very hard at work testing netcode and synchronizing multiple different instances like a LAN party, as you can see here. In the clip, Nicoto is able to manipulate a test cube in one instance and the cube will move in both separate Unity instances. Imagine these instances like two separate people playing the game at once. From what you've probably gathered, Nicoto is doing a lot for the team on the programming front, especially concerning the backend code for the game. For everything to connect, Nicoto decided to focus on the database since every system he has worked on is dependent on a database in order to function. Meanwhile, Yaoban is slowly but steadily rebuilding the levels in Sir Liam's Castle Defender. Here's a progress screenshot of their work so far. But now, the most pressing development effort on the team as of late, the PetPet wireframe. Previously, you saw that we had a basic test PetPet for the grid movement imported via Uniswift, and that it was the only type of controllable PetPet we had in Unity. Having a playable PetPet at all is great, but it doesn't confront the major issue: customization. We on the team needed to figure out how to import clothing, every PetPet species, color bottle, and animation. Which, there's a total of 46 animations, not including both front and back sprites, in a way that wouldn't make the team tear their hair out. For reference, if we multiplied every color bottle, about 48, every animation, 46, every species, 9, and accounting for unique front and back sprites, we would have to import a total of 39,744 Swifts if we imported each possible combination separately, and that isn't even including clothes, of which there are thousands. And it also doesn't address the possibility of us adding more clothes, color bottles, and species in the future. So, of course, the team opted to find a way to optimize this process, and a wonderful person who has helped us before generously has shared a Unity package he created for texture swapping for wireframes with us. The Unity Uniswift Texture Manager allows us to essentially create what are known as skeleton SOs. SO stands for Scriptable Object. Imagine it like a container for code in a game engine, from a Swift that basically acts like a base or skeleton, if you will. How the Unity package works is that it identifies all the parts of the wireframe and separates them via naming conventions, like ARM1, ARM2, etc. And it allows us to then group together body parts based on those similar naming conventions for easy texture swapping. The best part is, the animation itself is preserved and just lets us swap out whatever textures we want in real time with ease. And this skeleton SO can be used alongside a texture SO to swap out pieces of the skeleton for new textures with little programming on our end. Not only that, but the skeleton SOs can stack where a skeleton SO can be dependent on another skeleton SO. We won't have to go in and individually place in every single wireframe piece for every animation frame. The Unity package manages that for us, saving us a lot of time. What does this mean? Basically, say there's a master animation skeleton SO that holds every single PetPet animation in the game, complete with texture slots for every single type of clothing item a PetPet can wear. We can then take that skeleton SO and use it to create species skeleton SOs for all 9 PetPet species. This diagram should help things make a bit more sense if you're a little lost. With our texture system fully operational, the team will be able to implement the closet in Grouptopia. Depending on how early we end up releasing a build of the game, slowly the closet may be available instead of both, so keep that in mind. However, the team is still really excited to see easily customizable PetPets become a thing, so stay tuned. That's all for the main updates the team has to share so far, and we hope you enjoyed hearing the good news. Because this video is starting to hit the longer side, we plan to release another video relatively soon that'll go over the team's plans and goals for the project, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Anyway, another reminder that our applications are in the description, and please spread word of the project to people whom you think might be interested in helping out. We'd like to thank all the wonderful people on the team who are pouring so much effort into the project, and to everyone in our community who have been nothing but kind and understanding. If you want to check out our other videos and updates, please click one of the end cards on screen. Thanks for watching!